So this is the second Sideways Glances video as promised, and I'm starting out just by marking in some kind of hollows of the face. I'm taking a completely different approach than I did the first time. This is water-soluble marker, just marking out the hollows of the eyes there, thinking about where the lips might be and marking that in, the shadow beneath the lip there. And then I'm going to put some shadows in around the outside of the face. So rather than defining the face itself, I'm defining the shadows behind it. And adding in some warmer tones here again with soluble marker, which is on the supply list, the colours that I used. And bringing in just a little bit of darker pigment, working on the theory that less is more, so I'm just laying down a few little marks from this, but not too much because that darker blue will overwhelm everything else if I go too heavy. And I'm going to activate those pigments now and fix them into place. This is a damp brush with a little bit of white acrylic on there, so it's blending in with the blue and it's activating it with water at the same time. Cleaning the brush off and then bringing some white pigment into the face as well. So I'm using that with some water to activate the soluble markers that we've got on that face already. Adding in some more white as needed and rinsing the brush in between so that the colours don't get too muddy. And time to add in some pigment for her lips. This is the red listed in the supplies at the beginning of this video, mixed with a little bit of white. They're both acrylic, and just using those to blend in the upper lip, and then a lighter version of the same colour, just with a little bit more white in it for the lower lip there. And of course using that same colour with a little more white added to add some colour to the cheeks, a little bit of blush there and some pink in around the eyes. And while that's drying, just blending some of the colours into the background, softening those to push them back, which helps to bring the face forward now that it's a little more defined. Coming back in again with the water soluble in the very dark blue to give some definition to the irises. Incidentally, the supply list does actually mention a Derwent Inktense pencil that was used in the first video, which is the face on the left, but I didn't actually use it in this one. The supply list is identical in both, but I didn't use the Inktense pencil for this video. Adding some whites now into the eyes and highlighting on the forehead and down the nose. And again, this is a water-soluble pen in yellow. It's a lovely rich cadmium yellow. And because the colours are not fixed around the eyes there, I was able to use that yellow to kind of lift and blend to bring some warmth and some yellow tones into the eyelids there. And then fixing that with a smaller brush and white acrylic paint. It doesn't show in the video, but it's really important to now let this layer dry before we come back in with a pencil. So this layer has dried and I'm working on the dried painting with a black coloured pencil now for some definition. Working along the eyelids there, those black marks really help to balance them out. Lovely broken marks because the surface is very textural, and using black to define the pupils of the eyes as well. So keeping these defining marks a little bit rough and loose, it helps to be working on a textural surface because that breaks the lines. But also you don't want to surround everything with a solid black line and give it a kind of cartoon effect. So they're short marks, they're small, pressing firmly in some places, and then in lighter touches like the corners of the mouth, just below the chin there, a much lighter touch so that the effect is much softer. All done with one pencil. Time for some highlights now. This is white acrylic paint, just a little dab on the tip of my finger, a small flat brush using the corner of that. I just find it really easy to access a small amount of paint by having it right on my finger there and next to the page. when I'm working on small areas like this. Defining the white in the eyes and then adding some highlights as needed wherever the light would hit the face. A little more pink in around the eyes and then back to the white on the tip of my finger, but it does have a hint of pink in there as well, just to push it back slightly. That works really well just to let it blend on the page at this stage. So we're getting a soft kind of pinky white tone, highlighting the lower lip there, and she's almost at the point where we can call her done. And some final highlights now, almost white, just with a touch of pink in there, slightly more watery version, and washing some pinkish white over the planes of the face there where the light would hit the most, just to add a little more definition. And then we're going to rosy up those cheeks just a little bit more. I love how the face is now coming forward from that background just by adding those final touches. It's a really interesting exercise to create both of these pages from the same supplies. I didn't switch the supplies out at all, but I did complete them one at a time. So they're connected, which is why they're looking at each other, but they're also completely different, taking a totally different approach with the same supplies on each page. And they each have their own character, but remain connected through palette. And obviously the direction that they're looking in, and the way that the pages both have these beautiful textures in them really makes everything work together so well. They're kind of similar but different, and I'm really loving that sort of loose connection between these two faces. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.